Well, they say that all good things must come to an end. And it froze here a couple nights ago, and it froze inside. I think we had a cold wave that was just unexpected. It's just unseasonal. Around here, they broke a record for cold that was set in, I think it was 18, it was, well, I said 104 years. That's what it was. But anyway, the bottom line is that it got 3 degrees here, that's Fahrenheit, and the greenhouse just couldn't keep it above freezing in here, and so a lot of things froze. And there are some things that froze, and some things that it didn't. As you might expect, there are some plants that simple freezing really doesn't bother them too much. And other plants, just a slight freezing completely destroys them. So let me take you around and show you what happened here. I'll show you this tomato patch here, as you can see. And it got wiped right out. Now you see, what's interesting about tomatoes is they're quite easy to grow, actually. They're very tolerant of all kinds of situations, but they don't freeze. They don't take to freezing very well. As you can see the leaves are all drooping and they're just gone. But there's still a few tomatoes that'll ripen up because they were kind of hidden underneath here and they didn't get bit by frost too much. But anyway, the tomato plants are done and gone. As you can see, there's no new leaves on these. See the ends, all dead leaves. So these will just rot, so I've got to get them out of there. Now this set of plants here, which was really putting out these great tomatoes, as you can see it's totally shot too. But look at all the tomatoes that are still on it. Now these are not good to eat, and they won't ripen up because they took a hard freeze too. And let's see, we got one down in here that's got some color. Well, you can't see it on camera, but you can feel this. They're not, see, you can see some little spidery veins in there. This got frozen and it looks okay, but you can feel it's a little mushy, so that's no good. But anyway, but look at all the tomatoes that are going to waste because it froze. Just tomatoes everywhere. Now, I said a minute ago that some things are not bothered, and let's look at some simple things here. I think these are leeks, but see, they didn't get bothered. They didn't like the cold, but they recovered. And there's some other onions here, some beets back here, see? You can see the leaves are still green, they're doing fine. Now, when it froze that day, they didn't like it either. You know, the leaves kind of drooped down like, oh man, I've been hit by something. But they recovered and they're fine. These are beets here, and there's some kale. Well, I just harvested this kale, but as you can see, the kale that I left that's regrowing, it's doing fine. And the beets, they're doing fine too. And of course the celery. Celery is hard to kill off, but you see, celery didn't even phase it. It just went, oh boy, yeah, cold. Okay, good deal. So that's that's doing well. And over here is another batch of tomatoes, and some of these tomatoes were shielded enough that there are some tomatoes that I can still pick. But you can see it wiped this out, and you can see that tomato section over there. It wiped that out, and then you come over here, and here's some celery, and you can see that didn't get bothered at all. It's doing fine. And there's the back side of the tomatoes over here. And look at this. Here is, it looks like tomatoes, but it's green. So buried deep inside here, there's some tomato plant that survived and is doing all right. I guess that's because the other plants shielded it so it didn't get the full force of the frost or something. And let's see, look at here. There are some, yes, there are some tomatoes in here that, well, yeah, these are good. Didn't get the full force of the frost. So I'll pick these and we'll bring them in the house. This is probably the last of it. There's a tomato there. Anyway, so another tomato batch that totally wiped out. Over here, there's another celery plant, and And I've got some broccoli plants and cabbage and things like that right here. Now these didn't do well in the heat, but it's cooled off now, and so they're coming around. So these might grow through the winter. And then what I did was this: I had some tomatoes in here, and we took these out, and I planted some lettuce. And as you can see, the lettuce is coming up, and I planted some more over here to rotate it a little bit. So anyway, that's the greenhouse update, and I've got a mess here to clean up now, so, but I might wait for a while to do that. Tomato plant that we saw, and this is just a few weeks later. You can see it's still green, but it's you know, it's not going to survive because winter's coming. And there's another one here. Look at that. That's survived pretty well. And there's one down here. Now this is not going to survive because it's just winter. Now here's what we're going to do with this. Let me show you. I'm going to just pull this right out. And what we have here is a stem, basically. Nice tomato plant. And we've pulled it out. Now I'm going to take this in the house, and we're going to do something with it. Now I'll show you here. Now over here is what I call my telephone booth. And what this is, it's a indoor growing box. And what I've got is a tank full of water down there, and it's got some nutrients in it. And as you can see, I've already got some plants in it. Now this is the one I just picked outside. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stick this in the water. See, those planters have some big holes in it. We're just going to stick that in the water, and it will grow roots, and it will recover, and that plant is going to give us some tomatoes through the winter right inside here.